We're delighted to be joined by our Michigan State Representative of the 29th District, Representative Brenda Carter, back in the MegaCast. Hello, Representative Carter. Good to have you with us.
Oh, Dave, thank you so much for inviting me back again.
Well, it's good to have you back. There are so many issues that we have to deal with right now. Today's a big day, and we've had some pretty big days over the past month or so as businesses begin opening around the state of Michigan. Today, it's hair salons and nail salons, and everyone's going to be looking a lot prettier in the next couple of days, Representative Carter. People are pretty excited about it.
Yes, and we are too because our small businesses they are significant to Michigan's economy. And right now, a lot of them are excited. They're many of them have received opening kits from the county, and they are. All I can say is here in Pontiac and in District 29, they are adhering to the governor's stay safe practices, and they're just ready to go.
Well, they are. In fact, we just saw it. Our own Erica Jones is in the field. I don't know if you saw it right before you came on, but she was at one of those establishments, and it was so good because as she looked down on the floor, there were the 6 foot distancing circles provided by Dave Coulter and Oakland County in those 10,000 business opening kits. So, it's got to be, and I'll send him a clip of that, and I'll get you a clip if you want. It's got to be really good to see government at work and then on the back end, as our reporters go out and cover it, to see it's all implemented.
Yes, and like I said, right there in the strip mall on Telegraph and Walton Boulevard, they've suffered so disproportionately, but necessary to help keep our case numbers, and our deaths in Oakland County low. So I really applaud the efforts of Dave Coulter, his staff out there, the health department, and everything they did, not only to mitigate the caseloads that we had in Oakland County, but to ramp up our small businesses and get them prepared so they can come out the door today, ready.
Representative Carter, I don't know if you know Waldy the barber, the owner of the Headline Barber Shop in Pontiac, but we had him on a little bit earlier today, and he's all fired up about getting things open again. And part of this whole thing, it's critical from a business standpoint, but we're all part of a community, and it's good to be able to get back together. And you think of the barber shop and the hair salon, a lot more stuff is going on there than just getting us looking pretty, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we are a community and we are concerned with not only the business aspect and the economy, but we are also very concerned with our safety. So when I go next door to the hair salon today, I'm really anxious to do something with my hair, and I'm just really happy for all the businesses that adhered to the stay at home. I know it was difficult, but in return, we had a good return on investment in District 29 because we kept our cases low, and our deaths low.
No, and it's been working out well. And I think actually the challenge now, Representative Carter, is more profound than it has been. And I've been noticing this, especially in northern Michigan, where I usually go on the weekends, up there where they've been open a little bit longer than we have. And in those communities, they're pretty relaxed about COVID-19, a little more than we are down here. And some of the establishments that I looked at over the weekend were pretty crowded, and they weren't really doing all the social distancing that we've been doing. And, I fear that people are going to get, now that everything's opening, there are more cars in the street. I just fear a little bit that we are going to forget the things that we need to do. And we're committed on the show to reminding people every day, but we could get ourselves in a jam if we don't think about what we as individuals need to do. Don't you feel?
I absolutely feel that, and I'm watching every day. There's two great websites out there. The county has a great website where they track the metrics, as well as michigan.gov/coronavirus, where they track the daily metrics. And I'm in communication with a lot of community stakeholders who are working with me. Kenny Anderson, Jermaine Branner are part of the minority task force that we have in Pontiac, that we are actually looking at these spikes and seeing whether or not we need to, as the governor is doing, she is watching and making sure that she sees whatever spikes is coming under the state. We're doing it here in District 29. And if so, we immediately implement more health literacy information, more COVID-19 information. Right now, we're passing out PPE every Wednesday and Friday at a location on Walton Boulevard to ensure that the community remember that we are truly still in a pandemic, and it's predicted that we may have another surge this fall. So we continuously communicate this information to our district, our constituents.
Well, anything I could do to help, please let me know as we continue to get this messaging out to people. So I'm delighted. On our Civic Center TV website today, the results of a poll that says Black Americans most likely to know a COVID 19 victim. Story reads that African Americans have borne the brunt of the pandemic, as a series of surveys show that they are disproportionately likely to say a family member or close friend has died of COVID 19. That hasn't gone away either.
I'm sorry, Dave. Unfortunately, a call came in when you were doing that, but that's okay. I believe you were asking about African Americans and how we are disproportionately impacted by COVID 19.
Yeah, and a new survey out confirms, I mean, we've known that, but it confirms it. And as you think about the things that aren't really changing, unfortunately, that's probably one of the metrics that, nothing's changed in the last couple of weeks in that front. So, we hope to see some movement on there. And I know there's a lot of work being done, but people in all communities, but I would think, especially in communities of color, need to really be careful right now to make sure that they're doing all the things that they need to be doing.
And Dave, and that's very good point. Pontiac has a large African American community, and this is one of the reasons I had mentioned two gentlemen that I started working with last year, Kenny Anderson and Jermaine Branner. Kenny Anderson is looking at the health disparities, whereas Jermaine Branner is looking at what we can do to boost our immune systems. And these two gentlemen are working every single day to get this information in our community, and it's been effective. We have not seen the spikes in northern Oakland County as we have in southern Oakland County around the Southfield Oak Park area, because I believe we had this task force in place that's getting this information out. What is critical is that we get inside of where the populations that we need to get the information to. And this is one of the things that we took upon ourselves in District 29, is to go into what we call the nooks and crannies and make sure these communities, these pockets of communities, get the information and the PPE that they need to stay safe.
All right, Representative Carter, thank you very much for joining us today in the show. We would love to talk to both of those individuals and just learn what they're up to. And Jeff, the producer of the show, will work with your team, if you don't mind, to try to make those connections.
No worries at all, Dave.
No, that'd be awesome. So briefly, let's just touch base on a couple of other quick issues here around the state. You heard me in the setup talking about the challenge education has. We're going to talk to the folks at the Oakland schools. Dr. Wanda Cook Robinson will be joining us in a couple of minutes, but they got their hands full. I didn't realize at first that the schools have to be able to deal with this current budget year and the next budget year. What any thoughts on what they're dealing with right now?
Well, I have actually, interestingly enough, I'm working on having a town hall that will have the superintendents from West Bloomfield, from Auburn Hills, and from Pontiac, as well as Oakland County Superintendent Wanda Cook Robinson. We have not yet to have confirmed the date, but as soon as we do, Dave, we will. Some of the challenges that we're looking at is funding, as which is a disparity in the state once everywhere. Also, IT needs. What are we going to do in this IT era right now due to the pandemic? So, see, I know these are some of the things that Wanda Cook Robinson is working on, and I hope to disclose more of that. The governor did put together a task force working on education, where one of my colleagues, Representative Cheryl Kennedy, is a part of. So they're working on these issues. I'm not sure where we are right now, but I just can confirm that we have more data for you probably within after that town hall meeting.
All right. Well, I tell you what, if you're working in that town hall, let's connect. We would love to participate with you on that town hall. If you want, maybe even broadcast it live, if you would allow us to come along. And
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get my people and your people. We'll get them all hooked
Well,
up.
see, that's what I love about it, Dave, is because we are getting this information out. And I may not have all the answers that our community needs right now, but I will work to get the information. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for offering to broadcast this for me. I'll have Jonathan contact you.
Excellent. We enjoy working with Jonathan, and he and Jeff do a real good job. So, yes, I'm all about it. We would love to do that and anything we can do to help. Um, as I mentioned before we came on the air, there's
Mhm.
certainly a huge unemployment issue here in the state of Michigan. I'm beginning to learn through our reporting now that there are many individuals in the state of Michigan who never, ever received their unemployment checks in the first place. And now we see a story, it's on our website today, that says the fraud is worse than we originally anticipated in the state of Michigan, impacting some 400,000 potential claimants. And that is all going on while the unemployment insurance agency here in the state of Michigan is understandably totally overwhelmed trying to service 2 million people. So there are a lot of people in the state that aren't getting the money they should. Representative Carter, what advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, the unemployment office has been hit really hard with a spike of cases, as you know. All the state representatives have jumped on board to work with the UIA office to help our constituents. It has been since May 1st, I've been working with the UIA office, my staff. We've done over 450 individual cases ourselves, and some of the calls that I'm being disconnected with you about are actual constituents who are having concerns with UIA. The UIA office did put in place a central response team, a form that we can go out there, we legislators can go out there and input information to the system for our constituents. But the backload is so immense that that still the UIA still is not able to process them as fast as we want to. But I would encourage anyone out there that's experiencing difficulties connecting with the UIA to contact your state representative. You can contact me at area code 517 373 0475. 517-373-0475, or you can email me at Brenda Carter at house.mi.gov, and I will intake your information. Either me or my staff will intake your information and get you in the CRTIS system, which gives them, a flow, a queue for them to work from, and they have been working from them.
Yeah, Representative Carter, that's a great tip, and I advise everybody to do that. When I've had trouble in the past, never with unemployment, but other tax related issues, and I couldn't get it sorted out, I would call my state rep, and they would inevitably do better than I was doing, and usually in a pretty short period of time get it worked out. But we have been reporting on this show that we've talked to other reps, not you, but other reps around the state who said that while all that apparatus is there, it just isn't moving very quick now, and that they don't have the ability to get the results very quickly as we have in the past right now. And some of them have said to us that it could take up to 30 days, even for a state representative who in the past could, get a hold of somebody at UIA in a couple of days. They've been slow getting back to folks like you. I don't know if you want to comment on that or not, but that's what we're hearing.
Well, Dave, I want to be compassionate about what the UIA office is going through with the large amount of claims they're getting, but I have to be honest, it has been frustrating for me in a lot of times because when my constituents call me and they need their money or something simple like a monetary issue or a verification issue, and I cannot give them an answer, that's very discouraging for me. I just try to keep focused and say, okay, let me just keep on submitting every time when they call back and have you heard anything yet? I will then resubmit another CRTIS form stating that this individual has been in the system since this date and can you expedite this case? But I guess the biggest pain for me is that I'm not able to help my constituents when they need help. And that's largely due to the fact that the caseload in Lansing is so immense.
Well, and I appreciate your honesty on that, Representative Carter. And what you've just said is not a unique story. I've heard it, like I said, from a lot of other lawmakers, and it's unfortunate. And I think about the poor people, and I hope you don't mind me championing this cause a little, being a champion of this cause a little bit. It's just unfortunate because you think of the people that are most affected, people that are laid off, and I know it's a huge burden. And I heard they just added 200 more caseworkers at the unemployment insurance agency here in the state. But it's a really unfortunate thing. And it would be nice if there was more that can be done. And then you take on top of it, you put the fact that this fraud thing is going on,
Oh, yeah.
and that's just terrible. And it's not people, that it's not the people that are trying to get their unemployment. A lot of these fraud cases aren't even domestic. And then I did talk to the West Bloomfield Police Department. They told me they're working like 20 or 30 unemployment fraud cases alone in West Bloomfield alone. And all those are, forcing the state to cut off hundreds of thousands of unemployment checks while they try to sort through it. So the burden has been put back on the people. I wish there was something Lansing could do to take this burden off people, get checks out to them, and then figure it out later. But obviously, if that was easy, somebody somebody would have already done it. But thank you for letting me vent with you a little bit. And if you have any opportunity to take that cause to people to a greater extent, I think that would be great. And it's a challenge, and I'm not blaming the unemployment agency. They've got over 2 million claims. Whoever thought that was going to happen, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned the fraud. When we were told about the our system, UIA system being compromised, we was like, oh my God, what else? What else? Because what we have not only is our constituents hurting, our small businesses are hurting. They have employees. They have. I have one individual in Pontiac who has been just waiting so patient, and Karen has just lost it because there's no answer. So it seems like once we get one thing under control, we went from the CRT system to the CRTIS system, which is more sophisticated. We added more workers. Then we have this insurgence with this fraud. All we can do is continue to move forward and help as many of our constituents as we can. I do know my legislators are working with this. They're putting systems, revamps in the system, all kind of things to do to ensure that if this ever happens again, that we would have it under control. But most importantly, to get the people who are so sorely needing to their money as soon as possible.
All right, Representative, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking time for us today. Good to chat with you. I know you're doing the very best you can, and I really appreciate your honesty. We would love to work with you on this education town hall. And anything I can do, we are there. So if you need any help, I know you don't need my help finding a place to do it or anything else, but we'd be glad to broadcast it. We'll be glad to be there with you as long as we don't have a conflict date. I'm there with you. It'd be a pleasure to partner with you on that.
Well, Dave, thank you so much. Once again, I appreciate your business and how you get information out to the community. I'm so glad that you're now across all of District 29. I think you are.
For the
Auburn
most
Hills,
part, yeah.
uh, Auburn Hills, Kegel Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Village, and Pontiac.
We got it all covered. You bet we do.
Well, that's awesome. It's so very important that these type of mediums continue to disseminate information in our community and give legislators a voice so we can tell you what's going on. We can get your input. One thing, can I put a plug in here, Dave?
Please.
Thank you. If you have any issue, not only UIA, but if you're having issues with evictions, you're having issues with taxes, property taxes, please reach out to my office. Once again, the phone number is 517-373-0475, or you can email us at brendacarter@house.mi.gov. And I will reach out to Kenny Anderson and Jermaine Branner and see if they can meet with you and Jake and set up something so you could see the brilliant work that they're doing with the Minority Health Task Force. They actually uncovered these health disparities in the Black community long before COVID-19 hit. So if we had addressed some of these inequities in the Black community as far as health disparities, maybe we would not have suffered such a great at a great cost loss of lives.
Well, I appreciate that. We look forward to talking to them. Thank you for your fine work. And I can tell people too, while we cover every bit of your district, we cover some other ones. And if somebody they don't know what district they're in and they call your office will kindly redirect them to their state rep. They've done that for other people. So, Representative Carter, thank you very much.